Hi everyone. We live in very difficult times. The Russian-Ukraine issue is a big one. If we don't stop Russia in its tracks, I feel other countries will be in danger. Putin has spelt out that he would like to get back to the prior 1990 arrangement in terms of countries in Eastern Europe and to the south of Russia. The Ukraine seems to be the first step. Now, both China and America are trying to influence other nations. China does it more subtly by providing economic help and then having Chinese staff stationed in the country. They're trying to get some influence over the Solomon Islands, which are near Australia, and that's a bit of a worry. The Chinese are very systematic and persistent. But getting back to the Ukraine, it's a bit like the Munich situation of 1939, and I'm not the first one to point that out. Europe didn't do enough early on to stop Hitler, and they didn't want another war. They'd had the First World War only 20 years beforehand, and they'd had a terrible depression, and people just didn't want another war. So they tended to blockade Germany, which was quite silly. People like Churchill and also Enoch Powell realised that Hitler was an extreme problem and was likely to wreck Europe or conquer Europe. Now, from an educated person's point of view, I taught communication and psychology. Putin is a bit of a drip. He thinks he can get away with all that body language stuff. Shirts off, riding horses, long tables with other countries' prime ministers or presidents at the end of an extremely long table. Tall doors, gold inlays, and all this space that in the past kings and queens were able to get away with in terms of forcing, I suppose, people to be afraid of them and therefore obsequious. I think people realised it in the past, but we systematically teach all this body language, non-verbal stuff. So maybe 20 people or 20% of people should be aware of it.